What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where in this one we're going to talk a little bit about new ownership, right? And this is a conversation we had talked about the expectation and what the expectation was going to be moving forward. But now we have more of an idea and understanding of what it actually is, right? Everything that's going to be going on. And to get into this as it breaks down, of course, if you enjoy the content, make sure to hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. But as we start this one, talking about the daughters and what all they're going to be taking part of, this is kind of exactly what we had talked about before. But you have Carly Irsay Gordon, who is the oldest. She's going to be the owner and CEO, the principal owner, right there. Every franchise, you have to have a principal owner. She is technically the principal owner. The three of them obviously sharing ownership and sharing duties and responsibilities throughout the franchise. But she will be acting as you know, the day-to-day operation. She's been very involved on the football side of things with the headset on. And she even talked about that. And you really, the experience that all three have is exactly what we were hoping it was going to be, right? The way they were talking about it, exactly kind of what we thought it would be, right? You have Casey Foyt, who is owner and executive VP. And she's going to be handling, I believe, Casey's going to be handling like things on the marketing side. I'm almost certain that's what I'd seen. And then you have Kaylin Irsay, who's going to be owner and chief brand officer. And this is obviously Kaylin, one of the more public, probably the most, the daughter in the public the most, if I had to guess. She's been very involved with charity sorts of things, mainly the Kicking the Stigma that the Colts started a while back, and she's been a huge part of that whole process and very involved with all that. So this really is a situation that when you look towards the future, I like where we're at, right? I thought somebody, I can't remember who said it, but somebody just said something. Maybe it was Stephen Holder, but I had seen something where somebody said, you know, the girls are serious people, okay? And I like that. I actually think it was Stephen Holder, yeah, and I commented on that, right? They're going to be worried about, you know, the business and trying to run it like a business, which is good because business booms when you're winning. So and during their 33-minute press conference, with what they were saying, the questions that were being asked, and the answers that were coming with it, like they're going to be dedicated to winning. And again, the experience that all three of them have, but specifically Carly, you think about the experience that she has wearing the headset. Right, she's been involved in the team for 8 to 10. When you talk about like the depth of what, obviously they've all been a part of the team in different ways for a very long time. But Carly has been, you know, on the sideline. She's had the wristband, the headset for a very long time. Right, I didn't know 8 to 10 years is the length of time that she's been involved the way that she had been, and over time being able to understand so much about what's going on that she knows whether or not the coach messed something up as he was relaying the call into the quarterback, or was it the player that messed up, right? Did the player do something that was called by the coach, but it wasn't right because the coach called it wrong? Like, her being able to understand that, like when it comes time to watch film and have to make a decision on somebody, she's going to know what she's looking at. And of course, that was one of the things to like about Jim Irsay. He went through a lot of the same process, and he knew what he was looking at. Now, obviously, as time goes on and things get more complicated and away from what he was looking at when he was a GM, I'm sure there was a little bit less of an understanding, but he always had his baseline understanding of what things should be. Now I have Carly Irsay Gordon, who's been very involved. So when it's time to be in those important meetings, time to figure out who does leadership need to be on this team, she's going to know if somebody's trying to BS her. Do they know ball the way they need to, right? So very confident having Carly Irsay Gordon in the spot that she's in. There was even Stephon Gilmore on Twitter who retweeted a tweet that was talking about Carly Irsay Gordon being the new principal owner from ML Football, and Gilly Lock retweeted that and said, "She the best. The Colts are in good hands." So you have to imagine with her being on the sideline, there are probably a lot of players, a lot of former coaches that very familiar with Carly Irsay Gordon. Probably had a pretty close relationship, honestly, with Carly Irsay Gordon, with as involved as it sounds like she was. So, again, I just continue to have confidence, more confidence now after what they said in their press conference. Just more, I was already confident because I thought, with there being three of them, they able to bounce ideas off of each other. It's not just one person making a decision, and I think three of them handling different things. At the end of the day, it just common sense. It makes things more manageable per person, and I think the three of them are gonna lead us into a successful future. Right? Of course, I'm somebody who as you watch me, I always stay hopeful, and of course, I'm hoping for the best for the future. But just listening to the three of them, I now solidified the confidence that I have in them, right? I feel like I needed to really hear the three of them, and kind of what the plan was, how they think about things within the franchise. And again, they sound like very serious people. And so I expect them to lead with integrity and to lead us into a more prosperous future, right? And this was Carly Irsay Gordon talking about having the having the headset on the sideline. Some stuff that I really liked from her. Shout out to ML Football. Kind of had a lot of information on this subject as it was coming out, but she said, "quote, I need to be able to say, is that person full of BS? Do they even know what they're talking about?" She went on to say, it is such a complex organism, a football team, and how it operates. You could say that person ran that route learning, someone tagged the wrong receiver, and it wasn't really the player's fault. It was the person that called it. Right, so you have this here. This goes into what I was talking about earlier, things that I had already mentioned to you guys. But it's just the mindset, knowing that she knows how to decipher those things, right? Is it the player's fault? Is it the coach's fault? Who do we need to assign blame to so that they can be accountable for what they're getting wrong and their responsibility for us losing? Right. She went on to say, quote, I would suggest it for anyone else that has to pay coaches and GMs millions and millions of dollars. It helps you make a less expensive mistake. And again, if that's the mindset, we're trying to make less expensive mistakes, the three of them being very serious people and the three of them being able to handle different parts of what's going on, right? You're just thinking about the three of them in negotiations and having to take it from three different angles. Again, there's just confidence that they have that they give me confidence in what we can expect going forward. I think the franchise is in good hands. We'll see what happens in 2025, but you can rest assured, if there's not success again in 2025, they're not going to mess around. Okay, and I'm completely fine with that. I have faith and trust in what they're going to be able to do going forward into the future. They're going to not micromanage. They're going to hire the right people and let those people do their jobs. And I love that, right? They're not going to come in and be incredibly involved. They're just going to make sure the franchise stays on the correct path. And I love that. For what that says about the future, going to be interesting to see how they handle decisions going into the future, and next off season, what's going to happen even during the season. So what could possibly happen who knows, but I feel good about the future. You guys let me know how you feel about new ownership, how you think the future is going to go with the daughters being as involved as they're going to be and being in charge. Now, you let me know down in the comment section how you feel. And again, if you enjoy the content, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you continue to get notified anytime we drop any content on this channel. Of course, appreciate you stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.